Hello, everybody. Welcome to Intuition on Tap. Now, I'm hoping people can get here. I'm going to wait we've got a couple of minutes before 8 o'clock, so I shall wait and see how we get on. I'm having a bit of trouble with my technology as normal, so I'm putting it out there to my technology guy that everything will be fine. So we're just sitting here and waiting and see who actually is available. And let's see who is out there. Out there in the big bad world. I might record it because then if there's nobody there to interact with and I'm just talking to myself, I've got 3 viewers. I don't know who you are. If I can get you to pop you some information in the chat so I know who we've got. And that would be awesome. And then I shall get going. So I might just put my phone down here and turn it off. Stop it from buzzing. 4 viewers, we're getting more. So welcome everybody. Please feel free to pop some information in the chat box if you want to. Any questions, you can pop them in there, that'll be fine. We'll start in about a minute or 2. We'll see how many people else join us. I hope everybody's enjoying their wonderful Friday, a beautiful start to the day this weekend, which was very nice today. Hope everybody enjoyed it. Okay, so people are finding the link. Awesome. I'm glad of that, like I was saying. Okay, so we're going to start, and as we go along, if there are notice into the chat box. So we are going to be talking about Intuition on Tap. So thank you everybody for joining me. I'm so appreciative of this. It's something that I've been wanting to do for a while. I feel that it's to try and help people to have their intuition regardless to what's happening. So Intuition on Tap came about because I thought it was a little bit more politically correct than saying intuition even when the shit hits the fan, because that's basically what I'm going to try and show you today or tonight. What I'm going to try and show you is how to have your intuition to be able to hear it even when life starts to go on top. So often when we're in alignment with each other and with ourselves, your intuition is something you can hear it, you can see it, you can feel it, and it's fine and it's great and life is in flow, and then life happens and things go on top and it's like a blanket, and unfortunately you're unable to hear the intuition, hear the messages, and get back into flow as quickly as you would like. So a little quick bit about myself for those people that haven't worked with me or don't know me that well, but hopefully most of you know me well enough on my Facebook page. So I have been doing intuition work or psychic work for the last, I'm going to start to feel old now, 10, 15 years. And intuition to me is a big part of who I am, and it's a big part of what my life is about and how I live my life. So what is intuition? What do you guys see or feel as intuition? So your intuition is that little voice. It is the gut instinct. It's that feeling of you shouldn't go down that road, or you shouldn't take that turning, or, you know, that person may not be trustworthy, or I don't feel comfortable in this situation. Now, I did have a question that someone emailed to me that they wanted answered tonight, which was, what's the difference between intuition and psychic ability? Well, in a nutshell, there isn't any. Your intuition is something that works unconsciously. It works all the time, every day, without you having to think about it. Psychic ability is your intuition that you've actually turned into a tool. So it's like a muscle. The more you've used it so much and you've honed it into a skill, that is all it is. That's the difference. It's not saying that so it's not saying that one person is more psychic than the other, because everybody has the ability to have the same strength. It just depends on how they actually work at it. Where some of the differences come, it depends on whether or not, so not depends on, but some people are born with it. Some people learn it at a later stage. And when you learn it at a later stage, it does become a little bit more difficult to actually get those aha moments, because it's not something that's inbred. When you're born with it, it's something that becomes second nature. A lot of people, like myself, I was born with it at the age of 5. I was the first time I actually saw a spirit. And then I went through life not knowing as a child that you weren't supposed to see these things, which was okay. But obviously then at another stage, or at a later stage, shut it down because life got in too much, and I decided that it was too difficult for me to deal with life and the psychic ability too. And then when I was in London, England, because I'm from there originally, was being bombarded by messages, and I didn't know what to do with them. And I said to the universe, you know what, it's about time you showed me some way of being able to open this back up again in a way that is I'm comfortable with. And as soon as I said that, I walked across the road. I crossed over the road and I tripped up the curb, and I literally hit my forehead on a telegraph pole. And on the telegraph pole was this poster talking and advertising the spiritual church that was there. I would like my guides not to be quite so literal. And we have many conversations about how literal they actually are. And I will tell you a wonderful story I had about a test driving a car, but that's for later on, for when we're talking about when we don't listen. So how do you know that your intuition is working? So on a daily basis, it would be that feeling of rightness in a situation, or when it feels wrong. And, you know, I don't like to say yes, black and white, yes and no, right and wrong, but with your intuition, it is very much black and white. Your intuition will come up and tell you when something feels really right, because it's aligned with your heart center and it's aligned with your soul's path, your soul's journey. And when it's in alignment, it feels right. It sits here and it sits well within you. When your intuition is trying to tell you that something is incorrect and it's not right for you, it feels like it's sitting on your shoulders, like you're being pushed and forced, and your intuition is trying to hold you back. So it's more of a feeling on the top of your shoulders. So that's a physicalness that I've always associated with my right and wrong as far as my intuition is concerned. It sits in my heart center when it's right, and I'm filled with this bubbling excitement that makes me go, oh, I'm so excited. And it makes me happy to carry on with what I'm doing. When I'm doing something that's against my alignment, or my intuition is trying to tell me that it's not for me, I almost feel like I'm being pulled backwards. And what I find myself doing is leaning forward into it, because I want to force my way into it. I want to force myself to be in the right place, because that's what my brain is saying rather than my intuition. My intuition is saying, don't have a bar of it. So when's the best time to another question I had, which is one of the things that part of the thing that I wanted to talk about, was when do you hear it most? Well, that depends on how much you use it. When you'll hear it most of the time is usually just before sleep and in your dreams. If you don't do anything else, if you're not meditating, if you're not seeking answers, if you're not looking to make it stronger, if you're just being in your everyday life, going on and doing everything normally and just going with on your daily life, just before you fall asleep, in your dreams, and often when you're driving. Now, the reason being for those three things, they all have one main thing in common, is your subconscious brain is quite active. Now, I know it sounds strange to say driving, subconscious brain, really? But you think to yourself, half the time when you drive, you get from A to B and you go, oh, no, I don't even know how I got here. But you know full well that if you had to stop for something, or if it was a red light, you would have stopped because your conscious brain would have taken over. But what you're doing is you're unconsciously driving your car because it becomes second nature. Anything that becomes second nature and you do unconsciously, your brain is then active on two different levels, and your subconscious level can start to rise up. So the energy here on Earth is very dense and deep, and it's hard for the universe, the spirits, spirit guides, angels, the universe, whatever you like to call it, the divine. It's hard for them to come down into this realm that quickly. And what you want to do is raise your vibration up. So obviously when you sleep, your subconscious comes alive and your conscious is down. So you actually meet them halfway. So the energy then is a lot lighter and they're able to get that information through. Now the issue with dreams is, of course, as everybody knows, can't remember them. But when you do, you wake up like I did the other night or the other morning thinking I had mitts in my hair. I'm like, what the hell is all that about? I did work it out because it's this irritation that I had around money and business and finances and not knowing where everything was, and it was a constant irritation, and that's what I feel as nits is an irritation. So that's how I knew. I did say to my guides afterwards, could you not have used another analogy? But anyway, it got my attention. So the thing is with dreams, you can remember them. It just, again, like everything. With your intuition, what I'm going to say to you tonight is that everything is practice. Practice, practice, practice. The more you practice, the better you get at it. If you want it to be happening overnight, then I would suggest you turn off now and go and watch the TV, because it isn't going to happen overnight. And it isn't going to be something that is a magic pill that I'm going to give you today, that all of a sudden tomorrow you'll be the best psychic in the world, because it isn't the case. I didn't become, I haven't got to the level that I have just by sitting on my ass and not doing anything. I constantly study. I constantly connect with my guides. I'm constantly using my intuition. I'm constantly testing my intuition because I want to reach different levels. And you'll constantly go through contractions and expansions within your life in general, and you'll do the same through everything, through your spiritual journey and through your intuition. So now I talk a lot about platform. I talk a lot about finding your platform, finding your strength. So what that is as you've hopefully all of you received your beautiful questionnaire that we had that had all about the different clairs, listed which one was which, and you hopefully have got them all with you tonight so we can go through them. These are what, in the spiritual world, people like to define things. So we've got definitions now on what you, how you actually see, hear, feel, think, know, taste, smell, and all those kind of things. And they are called your clairs. So clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, and we'll go into all of those. It is basically a way of categorizing how you hear your intuition, how your intuition gets your attention on a daily basis. And when I say find your platform, that will always be the first way that your intuition tries to contact you. So for me, it's always been seeing. So as I said, at the age of 5, I saw my first spirit. I still see them today. And I am a very visual person. I learn visually. So I will see things visually. So that's my strength. That's my platform. So then when I start to do things with my intuition, I always start from my platform. So whatever it is that I'm trying to do with my intuition at one time, am I trying to, if I have a job interview, I'm sitting here and I'm trying to work out, will I get the job or won't I? Do I need to be more confident in this area? Do I need to be less confident? Do I need to sit up more? Do I need to project more? Do I need to be more analytical? And I'm wanting my intuition to guide me rather than my mind. So what I would do is I would actually ask my universe and my guides to show me. So when they show me, it is like a jigsaw puzzle, or I have a TV screen or a chalkboard that is in my head, all right? And they will flash up images, or they will write up words, and they will put the pieces of jigsaw puzzle there, and they will shift them around until a picture forms. And that picture will show me either myself being more assertive, so sitting up quite strong, or they might show me a man with a strong man to say you need to be more assertive. They might show me, they might go 1, 2, 3, and then it's their way of saying you need to be very clear and analytical. So first point, second point, third point, don't get off track. And that would be my platform. That's where I would sit, and that's where I would start. And then I would say to them, okay, well, I've got the understanding. Can you give me more? Can we layer more on top of that so I get a fuller picture of what I'm supposed to do? And that's the kind of thing that I'm talking to you about when I say platform. So your platform is your strong point. Now, I don't know if anybody can put anything into the chat box. Are you actually able to do that? So I'm going to write something in here at the moment and see if you guys are able to answer me at all, because I would like to find out from you guys, one, if you've actually filled out your questionnaire, because I'd like to go through some of the questions, and I'd like to work out, tell you which questions are for which Claire, what that Claire is about, how it works. And then what I'm trying to do tonight is to give you some exercises you can take away for which platform is your strong point. And if you have more than one, how to interact and how to link those two exercises together to get more for you. So I'm just going to have some water while I wait to see if anybody's going to answer my questions. It takes a lot out of me when I'm talking sometimes. Is there anybody out there? Are you actually able to put any comments in? I'm just waiting to see if anybody's going to write anything. I think I've allowed chat on here, so you should be able to. I cannot believe that you guys do not have anything to say. I really don't. So I'm waiting to see if anybody is going to be able to say. Okay. So I've just found out that nothing is showing as far as my chat is concerned. So let me see if I can find. Oh. I don't seem to be able to add it. Oh my goodness. I have to say that it is annoying when this doesn't work properly, but that's okay. Let me see. Choose the links. Let's see. Oh, nope. That's not what I wanted to do. There you go. Can you see the link chat now? Anybody? I'm trying to see if No. No chat. So, okay, so Anthea, you can see my chat, but not, you can see a chat, but not my comments. I need my technology guy to step in here. Seriously, I love technology. I absolutely love it. It works. Okay. Okay. We might see what's going to happen here. I don't know, because now I've lost the chat too with it, so I don't know. Maybe I should put it in here. All right. Oh, I've lost everybody. I'm here. Okay. I am going to not worry about it because I'm getting the poos with it, which is one way of saying it. Okay. So I'm probably going to find at the end of it, there's going to be heaps and heaps of questions, which is fine. I have no problems with that. I will definitely answer any questions that I come up with or you guys come up with. So I'm going to go through, for those of you that didn't get the questionnaire, please respond, put the comments in as we go, and I will check them out as I go. But the first one was section A. Now, we were talking about there, a lot of the stuff is that, so this would be, if you're this person, you do have an active dream life. So you do dream a lot and you can normally remember them. So that's me. I do remember my dreams. You do spend your days daydreaming. Oh, I do that. I used to do that as a child. Used to drive my teachers nuts and my mum, I have to say. You've got active imagination, so you're able to have like almost like this whole, I can have like an alternative reality going on in my head, and sometimes I can actually feel like I'm in that alternative reality, and it's fantastic. You're very good at speaking in metaphors. I do that all the time. And my kids look at me sometimes and go, what are you talking about? Why are you doing this? You see colors, shapes, pictures when you go to sleep or meditations. Now, seeing colors and pictures and shapes and stuff when you go to sleep is actually different to when you have the phenomenon when you actually close your eyes and you see this rush of faces coming at you. That is actually your soul family coming in to say hi. So that's a whole different thing. You often see sparkly lights or flashes of lights or something just goes across your face and you are like, what was that? And you use the word I see when you're actually relating to things. So that's classed as clairvoyance. It is basically, clairvoyance is saying that I see things. So I clear see. So I see things. So that's what I do. So for someone who's very highly clairvoyant and wanting to, or or if for you, if you're clairvoyant and you're wanting to make that a strength, because in the little questionnaire that you had, that's the one that you actually said yes to. There are lots of exercises for that. Now, for those of you that haven't got the questionnaire but you're wanting to go along with that, have a think about these questions. So the first one, the first section is for clairvoyant. So, do you have an active dream life and can you remember it? Do you speak in metaphors? Do you spend lots of days daydreaming? Do you speak fluently? I said that in metaphors. Do you see colors, shapes, and pictures when it's in your when you're closing your eyes before you go to sleep? Do you see flashes of light, sparkly lights, that kind of thing? And do you say I see when you start to talk about things in relation to you? Now, you need to say yes to one or the others. You know for yourself whether or not they're more than which ones relate to you. And as we go along, you'll say, no, that section doesn't agree with me, or there's only a couple there. So you're looking for the ones that you relate to the most. So the next one is about, are you a listener rather than a talker? Do you talk to animals and plants? Did you rather sometimes prefer being with animals and plants? Do you feel that sometimes you've sat there and actually heard a person say something to you, and then you answer them and they look at you and you go, what? How did you know that? Get out of my head. Do you tend to hear song lyrics a lot when you're trying to describe things to people? You know, and a lyric will come into your head and you'll go, that's what it is. That's exactly how I'm trying to say this. Do you sometimes have that buzzing and ringing in your ears? And will you normally use the words I hear when you're actually trying to relate a situation to somebody? That's clairaudience. So have a think. All of it means yes to you. All of it you said yes to. Some of it you said yes to. Half and half. Then we go on to what I class as the touchy-feely side of things. So that's when you're very highly sensitive. Normally these are people that are highly empathic too, that you tend to pick up what's around you. So you pick up the energy of the people around you. You don't like lots of crowds, like especially big crowds, because you tend to get overwhelmed by that, emotionally overwhelmed. If you're in people's homes and stuff like that, you can pick up the changes in the environment very quickly. You can feel the presence of the spirit. So that would mean if someone was standing there, you get a like that, or the cold would brush past you, or your hairs would stand up on your arms. You can actually feel people's pain. So if you were talking to someone and they were standing up looking perfectly healthy and happy, but you wanted to touch them on their arm or their shoulder or here or their leg because you could feel that there was something wrong there, and you would start your sentences with I feel. That's clairsentience. That's the feeling side of things. So that's when you, in my readings, I will physically feel something with either the person that I'm dealing with or the spirit that I'm dealing with. So that's clairsentient. So all of that is me as well as all of the clairvoyance as well. So you will find that you can be all of more than one. You don't have to just be one, and most people aren't just one. Most empathic people are clairsentient. Most healers are clairsentient because we're empathically trying to help somebody. Then you get this side of it where you feel like you know things without being told. When you were a child, you would have known things without being told. You'd have had people going, oh, for goodness sake, how do you know that? And you go, I don't know, I just do. And that would drive people nuts because they would want to know why or how. You like to create things. You get those ideas that just go bang in your brain and you go, where the hell did that come from? But you can see how it can work. You just know it will work. Your mind isn't quiet. You're a person that your head would be one of those things that you've got so many ideas rolling around your head that, you know, it would be beneficial to have like one of those things like with the candy floss, you know, so you could go and scoop out all your ideas so you can actually see them rather than them buzz around in your head, because that does create white noise in your head sometimes. You think of someone and you bump into them or they call you. And you know when people aren't being truthful, almost to 100% accuracy, because you can feel, and this is different to clairsentience because that's feeling it on a different level. But you can feel the change in their energy and you get an automatic response from yourself as it's a yes, they're being truthful, or no, they're not, and you just know it's right. And you tend to use the words I know. So this person is claircognizant. All right, not cognizant, it's called. And these are the people that just know. They just know this is happening and they know that they're right, and they get very frustrated when people try and say they're wrong. Yes, that's me as well. So a little bit later on, we're going to be delving a little bit more into these and find out which one would work for you. Now, The last one is actually one that a few months ago, it was frustrating me because I was running my beginners intuition, my beginners psychic development classes. And I was trying to work out how in hell do I explain this one, because I couldn't find it anywhere. Now, there are other ones. I'm not going into how you can smell things and taste things, because to be honest with you, it's self-explanatory. You smell it here or you taste it in the back of your throat. We'll go into that a little bit. But this is the one where with this one, you have a sense of inner knowing that it's not a good idea to accept something. So say if you have a job interview and it's the best thing since sliced bread and you've been waiting for something for like this for ages, and you're sitting there and you go, I can't take it. Now, it's different from knowing, because that's not the same. It's a thought that's come into your head from nowhere and you've said, I know I can't take this, even though everything is perfect. And then 2 weeks later, the company folds. So if you had started in that position, you would have lost your job, just it would have gone. So it's different from knowing, because knowing is whether or not it's right or wrong. And I'll explain more later. You get deja vu. You experience deja vu so much, it feels like you're always constantly tripping up because you've already been there. And you go, oh my God, I've already done this. Get on with it. You also know when people are lying, but instead of the knowing 100%, the energy field drop, it's like a thought goes into your head and you can hear that the actual truth behind the words that are being said. So if the truth is behind the words that are being said, it feels like a bell goes off in your head. If it is a lie that is being said, if there's a lie that's actually standing behind the actual words that are being said, you don't get that bell sound. So you just know. You interrupt. You always interrupt. That's me. But you can't help it. You apologize, but you can't help it because you just know what's you want. There's like you feel there's a time lag because you've already said what you need to say, but you haven't actually physically said it. Now, this sort of person enjoys the logical side of the brain. The left side, they love to do the left side of the brain. Now, when I was doing all of these, this is the only thing that didn't sit right with me, but it is also what a lot of people who have this ability are like. You're someone that also gets things, you see things in the future and they come true. So it's like pre-recognition you get. And it can be, and so pre-recognition is different from deja vu. Deja vu is a split second and also something that's related to specifically to you, not to others, but is always related to you. Pre-recognition is always, it's not always, but it's related to outside things and not always related back to you. You'll get also inspired ideas that just come out of nowhere. Not the same as creative ideas, but inspired ideas that can change the world and can change people's lives by just something you would say. So it's not always an inspired idea for yourself. It is often an inspired idea for others. So this is a word that I've made up with the help of my guide, specifically my teacher guide. And it says it's called Claire Punterant. Claire Punterant, which is basically the word for clear thought. So thought, it's the Latin for thought, basically. Now, so with all of these, you can be all of one, all of another, and a mixture of a few of the others. And that is perfect. What we're looking for today and tonight is which one is your strongest. Now, if you've got two that are strongest, that's fine. But if we really are looking for one, because that's your platform and that is how your intuition gets through, even when your shit hits the fan and the blanket is over the top of your life, it will still get through this way. And that is why you strengthen this so that you can always have your funnel. So the idea is that if the blanket goes over the top of your life and your intuition is tapping on the top of it, and you know that that's where it is, you can open that funnel up by doing these exercises. All right, so it's literally just being able to sit in silence for 5 minutes and open the funnel up or open the blanket up and allow the intuition to come through and be able to soak it in and then say, right, now I know where I'm going, if that makes sense. I am so annoyed that I cannot find the, what's it called, the chat thing. I don't know why I can't, but I'm trying to see what happens with this control room, but I can't. Let's see. I can't even see my chat here now, so I don't know what's happened, but anyway. I don't even, oh. Nope, I don't want to do that. Sorry, it keeps flashing away on me. All right, so have you got pen and paper ready? I'm hoping you have. I'm hoping you've all been prepared and you've all got your little questionnaires, although I did realise from some of you very kindly sending me some messages to say that you haven't actually managed to get your questionnaire, so I need to be a little bit more organised, I suppose, with my technology. New ways of trying things, all good. Okay, so for those of you that said to the first one, which was the clairvoyance, those are the ones that say, I see. Those are the ones that have for you that have the dream life, you can remember things, you're very daydreamy, and you like to say, I see. A very, very good exercise for you is to to start to build up your visualization. So if you're seeing things, the understanding is to know how to hone in on the visualization and know what they mean. So it's about knowing what your guides are saying to you and what their language is, but that's for another day. So we're not going to go into guides, languages and everything after this. These are just exercises and visualization exercises for you guys to go and take away and try. The idea is to do them for at least 7 days. The reason being is that becomes a habit, and that will allow you to be able to see that when this visualization is being done on a regular basis, what you're getting is a feedback. So what are you getting that's stronger than before? What are you getting that is more, that's clearer to you? What are you getting that makes more sense? So for clairvoyance, you need to imagine or visualize you've got 7 balloons. That's 8, Helen, 7 balloons. And each one is a different color, all right? Now you can put whatever color you like, but I like using red, orange, yellow, green, blue, gold, and black. Don't ask me why, but I just do. You can be standing up, you can be sitting down, it doesn't matter, but you've got hold of the balloons and each one of them has a string attached to them and each one of them is above you here, all right? Now, what you do is you take out the red balloon, you take out the string and you hold it away and then you let go. Now, when you let go, you're actually visualizing and you are focusing on the balloon itself. So you're looking up at that balloon and you're watching it fly away. You're watching it disappear into the distance, whatever that would be, wherever that happens to be that you're visualizing. When you can no longer see it, you start with the next one, and so on and so forth. Now, for some of those of you that I would know quite likely have got clairvoyance and clairsentience, so you are clear seeing and clear feeling together, what you can do for your balloons to make it easier for you to understand these things is to put an emotion on that balloon. All right, that for people who are quite strongly clairsentient and strongly clairvoyant, it will link your two together and you will actually be able to have a very strong platform because you'll have two of your clairs working together. And what you'll do is you'll build up those muscles. All right, so you can do that. So that's one way to do it for you, for someone who's clairsentient and clairvoyant, is to be able to pull the emotion onto the thing. So if you've got your red balloon, now for me, red is passion. So I put passion into that, and I feel how happy and excited and all that kind of stuff. And it would be in that balloon, and I'd watch it fly away. Then you get your orange, and then you get your yellow, your red, and all the rest, your blue and gold and black. And you do each one subsequently. Please try and remember to let go of them one at a time, not just go, off you go, bye. Because the idea is you have to be very specific and you have to be very clear. So the idea is that visualizing each one at a time, slowly letting them go and watching them. All right. Write down when you do it, the time you do it. All right. After you've done it, try and sit in silence for a couple of minutes. All right. Now, I don't mean you have to sit there and meditate. It's just literally when you've sent that information off, you're strengthening this muscle. Do you get anything back? Again, and write it down. So after the 7 days, you go back and have a look. Try not to peek at in between, because what I want you to do is understand that the more you practice, the better you get at it, and then you can see the validation. So being humans, we like to be able to be validated. We like to know we're right. We like to know that what we're doing is going to do some good for us. So if you keep peeking, you're going to try and second guess yourself. If you don't peek and you wait till the end and you've done some practice and you built your muscle up, you will be very surprised at the insights you get. Right. For those of you that are clairaudient, for those of you that hear things, this is another one which is an easy one for you to do, and it's a good one to be able to do for keeping distractions away from when you're wanting to do more work with your psychic ability as well. So what I always get all my students to do this one anyway, because we do get distracted by life around us, and this is very good for us to not be distracted. So what you need to do is we need to tune our inner ear, because what we're hearing is, so your clairaudience is being seen with your inner, we're being heard by your inner ear, not your actual ear. So when we do this, we have to visualize behind our ear and kind of like so the two of them come together in the middle, and they come together around about here. So don't focus up here, because if you focus up here, you're focusing with your third eye and you start to go into your clairvoyance, and that's not what you want to do. It's in here, so imagine it's sitting about this side, and you want to feel it's like, it's hard to imagine, it's hard to explain it, but it feels like a fizzing. It's all I can say. You know, when you drop something in and it fizzes and you hear that, it's that kind of noise, you know? Oh, it's like static noise. You know, like when you're going like this with the radio, when you used to have radios. Oh, someone around you, someone out there is not listening to something, not looking at things properly. Anyway, we won't go into that now. So it's like that static noise, and you should be able to hear it and actually feel it about here, all right? So when you feel it here, then imagine it's inside your head, all right? And here is two big, like those gramophone things, you know, whatever they call, like, I don't know what they're called, like big funnels, like gramophone ones that sit on either side of your ear. And you want them to be out to about this big, because you want to be able to funnel the sounds that you're getting from out here and into the inside of your inner ear. Now, you're wanting to build up so it's like being, you want to be an antennae. So you need to sit in a place. So you need to sit somewhere quietly. And what you're wanting to do is focus on the sounds outside of the room, like really focus on the outside of the sound. So that would be things like, you know, a car going past, you can hear the lorry, someone beeps, there's a dog barking in the distance, church bells are going off somewhere. Being able to pick up each sound around you. Now, you may think this is actually building up your actual ears, but it's not. It's actually building up your awareness of the sounds that are around you and how you actually pick them up. And then become aware of the sounds in the room, and then becomes aware of the sounds of you. So you're breathing, you might be able to hear your heartbeat, rustling it when you're moving around, anything that's on you that is making a noise. So it's outside of the house, outside of the room first, inside of the room, and then in you. And then I want you to focus on one particular sound. So something that is very significant to you. So for me, it is the waves of coming up and down on the beach, because my Zen place is the beach. Everything about it gives me that. So I focus on the sounds of the waves coming in, and I focus with my inside of my ears so that I can hear it in the room and then inside of me. So again, once you've actually done that, now for all of these exercises, you're only looking at doing it for like 2 or 3 minutes, all right? Because when you start doing this, you could get tired because you're actually starting to use a muscle that you haven't used before. It's like going to the gym for the first time. You come home and you go, oh my God, I can't get out of bed. So you could get tired. Don't overdo it. And again, sit in the silence, write down what you get. I'm a big believer in writing that shit down, because then you can see what comes out after it. Okay. The touchy-feely people, for those of you that really do feel other people's emotions a lot, one of the best things for you guys to practice on is with psychometry, so jewelry. Now, I usually say people's jewelry because it holds, metal is best. Gold and silver is fantastic, anything. But so this is where you're going to harass your friends and family for them to give you a piece of jewelry. Now, it doesn't matter if you know these people. You might not know the background to the ring or the earrings they have, or they may have a piece of jewelry that came from their mother. If they have heirlooms or something has been passed down, that is fantastic. So with psychometry, it's about you rub your hands together first so you get some energy going. You place the jewelry or the item in your hand. So you've got your ring, which I'll take off like this, and we hold it in here like this. Now, what you're going to do is, if you do work with guides, you can call them in, but you're just literally holding on to this. And again, piece of paper and a pen. What sense of energy are you getting from this? Does it feel hot? Does it feel cold? Do you feel happy? Do you feel sad? Does it make you feel sick? Do you get all buzzy with it? Do you feel really tired? Like, what are you getting from it? Put that down, and then do you get anything else from it? Like, are you getting pictures? Do you know, is the emotion or the feeling, is the hot then relating to something else? So if it's okay, I'm feeling sick and I feel tired and I feel heavy, so the energy that I'm getting from this is kind of like someone who might be unwell or unhappy. And so that's what you're writing down. Now, remember to ask your friends, once you've done all of this and you've written it all down, ask for feedback. So this is the one time you do say to that person, this is what I picked up. Where am I at with it? All right. And remember, there's no wrong and right answer. And remember, there's a lot of ways that you're going to explain it to that person that might not relate to them first. Then they'll turn around and go, oh, yes, that remembers that sits right, because, yeah, on that day when I bought it, I wasn't feeling very good and I did it to make myself feel better. If that makes sense. Okay. So for you who've got claircognizance, so those of you who've got that clear knowing that I know that you're telling fiblets and I know this is going to happen. Now, one of the best things for you guys to do is automatic writing. So automatic writing is exactly that. You sit down in a quiet space for 2 to 3 minutes with a blank piece of paper and a pen. Now, I honestly say the best thing to do is pen and paper. All right. Now, I know people are all with the technology these days, but when you're building up these kind of muscles, pen and paper work because it's a way of hand and eye coordination, brain and hand. When you're typing and you've got the energy of the computer, or you're speaking into your phone, you've got the energy of the phone as well, which can disrupt what's coming down. So pen and paper, sit down, write stuff. Whatever comes into your head, write it down. Again, please don't read it straight back. Please don't second guess yourself, because you'll look at it and go, oh my God, where the hell did that come from? I'm making it up. That is fantastic if you think that. If you think, oh my God, where did that come from? I'm making it up. That means you're doing it. Because if you can't work out where it's coming from your intuition. So those of you who do clear knowing, you need to work on automatic writing. All right, for those of you who had the clear thought, how in hell do I get this going? All right, so this is a little bit different, because this is more about setting an intention to be able to open the thought up at any time. So it's like, I don't know, imagining it to be a tap or a light switch. You want to be able to turn it on and off. And remember, what we're doing with these exercises is to be able to find a hole to lift up the blanket or open the funnel so you can get your intuition flowing when the shit's hitting the fan, okay? So with the clear thought, it's about setting an intention to be able to know and to get those thoughts coming through. So it's something like, I don't know, and I stand ready to receive the information and knowledge that I speak of. And to also tell you as well, those people that do the clear thinking and the clear thoughts, the message of the thoughts are coming from or down from the Akashic records. Now, the Akashic records hold the history of the universe, and they include every soul's karmic journey and history. So you're tapping into the Akashic records and every single soul that's ever been on this earth, and what their history is what you're tapping into, which is why you sometimes know things that you have no idea how you knew that, because that's where it's coming from. Now, when you get that feeling, it always comes down from into the crown chakra, and you will feel like I feel like sometimes like my head is buzzing and my hair is standing up. Not very difficult when I've got no hair, but it also sometimes feels like I've got pressure building up in my head, and it feels like until I pass a message on or I write down what's there, it continues to build. So what you're doing this way as well is allowing yourself to have that pressure valve to be able to let go of the pressure, because you're not always going to be able to find the person the message is for. Whereas if you've actually translated it from your head into paper, and with the intention of being able to pass it on when you are in the right situation, and that person who's the message for comes across your desk, as I say, or is in the right healing space, then you'll be able to work it out. So it's something like, I stand ready to receive the knowledge that I seek, or I'm ready to begin my journey into universal knowledge. Now, when you do this, you need to repeat. So again, sitting quietly in a quiet space, when you have your affirmation that works for you, you need to repeat this affirmation 7 times for each chakra. Now, the reason being is you want to be able to align every single one of your chakras from top to bottom, so that the energy and the Akashic records and the information you're getting is coming all the way down and being grounded. Otherwise, you will go around with your head full and it will have nowhere to go, all right? Because it won't be able to trickle down, because you're too connected up to the crown chakra. So you start with your base chakra and you visualize the knowledge coming from your base chakra or coming into your base chakra, even though it's connecting through your crown chakra. So you say that 7 times. I stand ready to receive the knowledge I seek. I stand ready to receive the knowledge I seek. I think that's what I'm saying. And then you go up to your sacral chakra, your solar plexus, your heart, your third eye, your throat chakra, your third eye. And when you get to your crown chakra, you're repeating it 7 times, and then you're connecting to the divine. And once you've connected to the divine, you're also connecting then to the Akashic records. And that's when you can sit with pen and paper and see what you actually channel when you're doing that. Okay. So I'm very annoyed with the technology as usual, because I haven't been able to get any comments or anything else like that, because I would love to have lots of interaction, because I can imagine that there's lots that you're wanting to know. And lots of, lots of things that I may have skipped over that you're not quite sure of. So the reason why I say about going over these exercises and writing things down is that we need confirmation that we're doing it and it is working for us. And I almost said we're doing it right, but there is no right and wrong way. And it's more about that you're doing it in a way that works for you and that you can see that it is working. Now, your mindset plays a big part on how your intuition works, as we know that our mindset plays a big part on everything that we do. So one of the things that I like to teach in a lot of my psychic classes, and will be teaching very in depth for my Intuition on Tap workshop that's coming up on the 23rd, so please check out my website for that one, is how your mindset can be the block or even the blanket. So it could be that life is going along and you're happy with what's going on in your life, but you still feel like there's more and that you can't work out what it is. And so it is the block itself. So your mindset is actually blocking any of the information and your intuition from actually being able to talk to you properly. So with my Intuition on Tap workshop, we go through what I have worked out with my guides, your 5-step process to intuitive awareness. So it helps you uncover recognize your blocks, uncover them, find out what your thought pattern is around those blocks, what is the reoccurring thought pattern, how to turn the thought pattern around and get clarity on it. So it's not about being positive 24/7, because it's okay not to be okay. You don't have to be this happy, jolly person, because I don't believe that's the case. Like, we need the light and the dark, the sad and the happy to be able to be a whole. But it's to know and recognize when you're getting reoccurring thought patterns that are actually stopping you from moving forward, not just with your intuition, but throughout your whole life as well. So with this intuitive awareness, it will help you recognize when those patterns are forming in your mind, be able to stop that pattern and be able to put a affirmation or a clarity statement, as I call it, on it, so that you can recognize it, acknowledge it, and let it go. So this is what I was going to do, questions and answers, but as there's no chat, I can't do any questions. So yeah, I hope you have enjoyed the live. I hope that it was everything you wanted it to be. And again, apologies for not being able to get the chat working. This is probably my 3rd webinar, and every single one of them have had some kind of weird thing happen to it. So I just throw my hands in the air most of the time and just go on with it. So anyway, thank you for listening to me. Thanks for joining me. For those that were here, thank you for taking the time out of your Friday night to spend here with me. And I will hopefully see you around in my Facebook page. Please have a look at if you're interested in coming to the webinar. Not the webinar, you're on the webinar, on the Intuition on Tap workshop. It's a face-to-face one on the 23rd. I will be running an online one, but on in saying that, I will probably record most of it, as I don't seem to be able to get live things working that well. Again, thank you very much for joining me, and have a fantastic weekend. Blessings, everyone.